So let's talk about the SPY. We got a lot of stuff going on in the market today. Anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none of these financial advice, but let's go over this. So, first things first, you can see right now, we are doing crazy numbers right now in the stock market. Everything has been pumping, and it's really because of the earnings yesterday. We had Microsoft and Meta give their earnings. So, that was Microsoft. Meta, we had Qualcomm, which was, is a lot smaller than those two. Caterpillar, that's like a construction company. Total Energies, Banco Santander is like a South American bank. But yeah, we had a lot of different earnings, but the main two that really changed the direction of the market was Microsoft and Meta, and we also got GDP earnings in there pretty good. So that's why we ended up seeing things playing out the way they did yesterday. But now today, our earnings for today is going to be Apple and Amazon. The two main earnings are going to be coming after market for Apple and Amazon. And not only that, MasterCard is also coming out with theirs, which is actually pretty big as well. McDonald's is coming out with theirs. That's pretty big. And then we have some other smaller companies here. So also MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor's Bitcoin company. So that's also another one that you want to watch out for. Airbnb. So these are different plays that you could go in for today. Honestly, it's not safe to play these. It's not safe to play these. All these different earnings calls. I'm playing it, but I would definitely say be careful. Block, that's also another payment method one. But yeah, Apple and Amazon are the two main ones. But what I will say is I'm paying attention to the SPY according to these because obviously the SPY, a lot of the SPY is consisting of the top seven, like Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla. We already had those earnings. So that's why it's very important to watch those earnings when you're doing SPY trading. And I like to trade the SPY. I really don't like to dabble inside of all the other ones, but I still do them every now and then. But I really like the SPY because the SPY is just a lot easier to track for me, and it just works best for me. I'm gonna get into doing more videos on others like individual stocks and options like that because I do options. I don't just trade equities. But anyways, Apple and Amazon after hours. As you can see, they're the two top market caps here. 3.1 trillion for Apple. Amazon is 1.9 trillion. So Apple's like a whole Bitcoin in itself. It's the same with Amazon. So also the same thing goes for Microsoft and Meta. They're like Bitcoins themselves when it comes to market cap. But yeah, they're probably gonna be both good earnings. Honestly, Apple is definitely gonna be good. They did not react much to what we had yesterday, and because all the other stocks, they were going crazy when Meta and Microsoft released their earnings. So Amazon's probably going to do pretty well too. So we got to watch out for those two. But now let's look at these numbers. So aftermarket, we got pretty high. We got all the way up to like 557, pretty much touching 560 yesterday for the aftermarket. And now pre-market, we're already at $5.60. That's 1% up for the last 24 hours. That's pretty good. So 1% up just in the pre-market. That's huge. So right now we're going to be starting off hot inside of the day. All right, we're going to be real hot in the day. And as you can see here with the RSI, we are definitely still not oversold. We're getting closer to that area of being, or I mean, overbought. We're getting closer to that area of being overbought, but we're not necessarily there yet. We were overbought, however, back here, and you can kind of see that on the 23rd, you were seeing some overbought areas, but we're at that point where we're not necessarily overbought, but we're getting there. And by the time we are overbought, we're probably going to end up being around $567. That's probably where we're going to get rejected at. That was the previous resistance back here when we first initially dropped, and then we tried to come back. So we went from 576 all the way back up here to 567. So that's the initial resistance, and then we have 576 afterwards. So the two levels that we got to watch out for is going to be 567 and 576. I believe that we quite possibly can get to 567 before the market ends, but once we get to the aftermarket and we start getting earnings, that's probably what's going to actually push us up to $576, right? And then going into Friday, you also got to remember Friday is going to have Berkshire Hathaway's earnings, which obviously theirs is going to be good because Bernie Sanders has been in cash for a while. He's been saying that over and over again, saying right now they're really cash heavy over there because there's just too many people being greedy, and he does believe that there's going to be another crash. So that is interesting as well. ExxonMobil, Chevron, so Shell. We got a lot of oil companies doing their thing. Imperial Oil. So tomorrow is going to be a lot of oil companies in Berkshire Hathaway. That's going to be the biggest thing for tomorrow. So we're probably not going to see as big of movements tomorrow, but we should be seeing some big movements today, and that's going to be both intraday and also in the aftermarkets. So you definitely want to pay attention for that. So that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking for those levels going up to 567, 576. Those are the two levels on the SPY that we really have to pay attention to. And then not only that, if we go inside of a longer perspective here, looking at the 4 hour chart, you can actually see like that would put us pretty close to the all-time high. But personally, I think when we're going to end up getting up there, we're going to be oversold here on the 4 hour. If we get all the way up to 576, you can see we're getting close to that oversold area, but we're not quite there on the RSI. So the RSI actually is going to end up being closer towards the oversold area. And that is going to be a bad thing for people who want to try to play the calls in the option market and try to long the market. And then it's going to be a good thing for the people who want to play the puts and short the market. But yeah, personally, I think that's what's going to happen. Don't make your trades based on what I think personally. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But you can kind of see where the you can kind of see where the RSI is going. Like the RSI is going to be oversold by the time it gets to 576. Like that's just there's no question about it. That's where it's heading. Now there is always the possibility that the RSI stays oversold for a long period of time. But how long can it stay oversold for? Back here inside of 2023, it did stay oversold for a pretty good minute, and it it really pumped during that time when it was oversold. So if you kind of stayed out and you were trying to do puts, you would have got completely screwed and you would have never recovered your money. You would have lost it and it would have never came back. But that's just this time. Like you can see from all the way from like the 15th of November, like this area right here, all the way up to about here, it was oversold. And then even though you can see it pulling back on the RSI, it was still on the high end of things. So it still kind of stayed near that oversold area until finally it started to see some type of pullback going into 2024 from the end of 2023 to like the end of the first quarter of 2024. We've seen this just completely going crazy all the way from $434 all the way to $520, and then it just went down to $495 and it kept running. But that was also coming out of COVID, so you also got to take that into account as well. That was coming out of COVID, so you got to be careful with that. Now, also, if we want to go ahead and look at the daily chart, you can see the daily chart. It almost looks like it's just getting started, right, on the daily chart. So that could be another thing. But as you can see, the RSI could easily continue to rise here and then cross here right when we hit 576 and then become oversold. So that is another one as well. So also, we have the 1 week. So, and also back here, what I meant, I actually meant overbought when I was talking about the one inside of all the way back here, because I just now realized I said oversold back here. I meant overbought. This was definitely way overbought. But yeah, on the 1 week, it could easily become oversold after we reach 576, and you can kind of see how on the daily chart, you can kind of see how that can be true because we're almost at 576, and it does look like it's about to cross right here. So we could see a lot of selling after we reach 576. We can also see on the weekly chart here, the same thing kind of looks true as well. If we reach 576, there is a huge possibility that we cross over there. So I would definitely say be extremely, extremely, extremely careful here on that. So I'm just kind of clearing up that for you, just kind of deleting some of the things there. But yeah, because you can see here, it could end up crossing here at any given time. And yeah, once that cross happens, you'll see that downtrend coming. So I don't think the overselling is done for the weekly chart and also for the daily chart. And then here on the monthly chart, you can kind of see a little bit of the same here. But yeah, this chart just looks crazy. It doesn't look like it's fully done. You can see how this wick just goes all the way down to that support at 480. So I don't think it's done. I don't think this is done. We have not seen the last of the selling, but we're kind of inside of a break period. So it's definitely taking a break from, all the normal craziness that we've been seeing in the market. So this is a break. This is a chance for the bulls to capture some of that money, and institutional investors are kind of bull trapping people here, in my opinion. Like I said, though, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but I do believe that this is a bull trap. Now, it could be a rally if we get past 576. If you see us get past 576 and continue to rise, then we could create new all-time highs. So, yeah, that definitely rhymes. If we rise, we will create all-time highs. So if we go above 576, expect new all-time highs. Previous all-time highs at $6.12. So if we get above 576, it's pretty much up from there. And if we're just going by the Fibonacci that we have set up here, I mean, the talent is unlimited with this. Like, I don't see this rising all the way up to $850, like how the Fibonacci shows. But I definitely think that something big can happen if we start creating all-time highs, if we get past $576. But that is such a critical area to pass. If we don't and we go down, we're gonna end up retesting these bottoms, and then you're gonna end up seeing something that looks like a double bottom. So yeah, we'll see exactly what happens with that. But it's pretty much all I got for you all today. I'll keep you all updated on the SPY. I'm thinking of doing daily videos here on the SPY because I've been trading it recently, and I think a lot of people can benefit from just getting some info on what's going on in the technicals as well as some of the fundamentals here. So, anyways, this is all I got for you all today. Hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. And as always, I'll be back with another video.